Imagine you're walking through a dusty museum in Athens, Greece. You pass by gold statues, broken pottery, and marble busts of philosophers. But then, in a corner, you see it. A small, green, corroded lump of bronze that looks like it belongs in a junkyard from the 1940s. It's covered in gears. Tiny, precision-engineered gears. For decades, scientists ignored it. They thought it was just a piece of trash. But when they finally put it under an X-ray, their hearts stopped. This little lump of bronze was a computer, a complex analog computer built 2,000 years ago. According to our history books, the first mechanical clocks weren't invented until the 1400s. The first computers didn't arrive until the 1940s. So what was this doing in an ancient shipwreck from the time of Julius Caesar? Welcome to the uncomfortable truth about human history. We like to think of progress as a straight line, a ladder where we go from caves to huts to castles to rockets. But the evidence tells a different story. It tells a story of the Great Resets. It tells us that our ancestors were doing things we still don't understand. And then, suddenly, they forgot. Today, we are diving into the history you weren't supposed to find. From ancient nanotechnology to underground cities that could house 20,000 people to the mysterious manuscript that not even the world's best AI can crack. This is the history of the lost tech, and it's going to make you question everything you learned in school. Stick around, because the last mystery on our list proves that we might be living in the shadow of a civilization that was actually more advanced than we are today. Let's start with that Greek computer, the Antikythera mechanism. Imagine a device the size of a shoebox. Inside, there are over 30 bronze gears, all working in perfect harmony. You turn a crank, and the device tells you exactly where the sun is, what phase the moon is in, and when the next eclipse will happen, down to the very hour. It even tracks the 4-year cycle of the Olympic Games. This isn't just a calendar, it's an astronomical calculator. To build something like this, you need advanced calculus, you need a deep understanding of planetary motion, and you need the ability to cut metal with sub-millimeter precision. History says the Greeks didn't have these things, yet here it is. If the Greeks had this technology in 150 BC, why did it vanish? Why did humanity spend the next 1,500 years using sundials and sticks while this computer sat at the bottom of the ocean? It's like finding a pocket watch in a Neanderthal cave. It suggests that a massive dark age wiped out a level of brilliance we are only just rediscovering. But the Greeks weren't the only ones playing with impossible tech. Let's travel to Baghdad, Iraq. In 1936, workers found a small clay jar. Inside was a copper cylinder and an iron rod. On its own, it looks like a simple pot, but when you add an acidic liquid, like lemon juice or vinegar, it produces an electric current. This is the Baghdad battery. It dates back over 2,000 years. Official history says Alessandro Volta invented the battery in 1800. So why were people in ancient Mesopotamia experimenting with electricity 2 millennia earlier? Were they using it for medicine, for lighting, or to electroplate jewelry with gold? Imagine the scene: a temple in ancient Babylon, shrouded in darkness, where a priest touches a statue and it sparks with the power of the gods. To the common person, it was magic. To us, it's a terrifying reminder that modern energy might be much older than we think. Now, let's talk about something even smaller: nanotechnology. We think of nano as the cutting edge of the 21st century, manipulating matter at the atomic level, but the Romans were doing it in the 4th century. Meet the Lycurgus cup. It's a glass chalice that shows a scene of King Lycurgus. When you light it from the front, it's green, but when you light it from behind, it turns a brilliant, glowing red. For centuries, people thought it was magic. In the 1990s, scientists finally put a piece of the glass under an electron microscope. They found that the glass was impregnated with particles of silver and gold ground down to 70 nanometers in size. That is less than 1,000th the size of a grain of salt. If the particles were even a tiny bit bigger or smaller, the color effect wouldn't work. The Romans didn't just accidentally make this. They had to have a precise, repeatable process for grinding metals into nanoparticles. How? Without microscopes, without clean rooms, without modern chemistry, how did they master nanotechnology? While the Romans were playing with atoms, the people in what is now Turkey were building a bunker that would make a modern billionaire jealous. Imagine walking into a small, unremarkable cave in Derinkuyu. You keep walking and the cave goes deeper and deeper. You realize you aren't in a cave, you are in a city. Derinkuyu is an 18-story underground metropolis. It has ventilation shafts that reach the surface, massive stone doors that can only be opened from the inside, wells for fresh water, and rooms for livestock, schools, and even wineries. It could hold 20,000 people. 20,000! And here's the kicker. It was carved by hand out of solid volcanic rock. Historians say it was built as a hideout from invaders. But think about the scale. To build this, you need a level of engineering and waste management that shouldn't have existed thousands of years ago. You need to know how to move millions of tons of rock without the whole thing collapsing on your head. And most importantly, what were they so afraid of that they felt the need to move 20,000 people deep underground for months at a time? Was it just soldiers? Or was it something much worse, something coming from the sky? Speaking of things we can't explain, let's look at the Voynich manuscript. It's a book. It's about 240 pages long. It's filled with beautiful illustrations of plants that don't exist on Earth, strange zodiac signs, and naked women bathing in green liquid. And the text? It's written in a language that no human, no linguist, and no supercomputer has ever been able to translate. It's carbon dated to the early 1400s. Since its discovery, the world's greatest code breakers, the same people who cracked the Nazi Enigma code, have tried to read it. They failed. Some say it's a hoax, but the complexity of the language follows Zipf's law, a mathematical pattern found in every real human language. It's not gibberish. It's a message. Is it an encyclopedia of lost medicine? Is it a diary from a parallel world? Or is it a coded manual left by someone who wasn't supposed to be here? The book sits in a library at Yale University, mocking us. We can build rockets to Mars, but we can't read a 600-year-old book. Now let's go even further back, 11,000 years ago. This is a time when humans were supposed to be hunter-gatherers. We were supposed to be living in tents, chasing mammoths with sticks. But then we found Göbekli Tepe. Located in Turkey, this is a massive temple complex made of T-shaped stone pillars, some weighing over 20 tons. These pillars are carved with intricate images of lions, scorpions, and vultures. Here is why Göbekli Tepe breaks history. It was built 6,000 years before Stonehenge. It was built before the invention of agriculture. It was built before the wheel. According to every textbook, hunter-gatherers shouldn't be able to do this. You need a massive, settled workforce to move 20 tons of stone. You need architects. You need a food supply. Göbekli Tepe proves that we didn't start farming and then built civilizations. It suggests that civilization and religion came first. It suggests that we were much more organized and capable much earlier than we ever dared to dream. And then, for some reason, the people who built it didn't just leave. They buried it. They intentionally covered the entire complex with dirt, as if they wanted to hide it from the future. This brings us to the Great Pyramid problem. We've all heard the theories: aliens, slaves, giants. But let's look at the cold, hard facts. The Great Pyramid of Giza is made of over 2 million stone blocks. Some of them weigh 80 tons. They are fitted together so tightly that you can't even slide a credit card between them. It is aligned to true north with more accuracy than the Meridian building at the Greenwich Observatory in London. To build it in 20 years, as historians claim, workers would have to set one block every 2 minutes, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, without iron tools, without cranes, without the wheel. And here's the hook. The pyramid isn't just a tomb, it's a mathematical constant. If you take the height of the pyramid and multiply it by 43,200, you get the polar radius of the Earth. If you take the perimeter of the base and multiply it by the same number, you get the equatorial circumference of the Earth. How did the Egyptians know the exact dimensions of the planet thousands of years before we discovered it was round? It starts to feel like we're looking at a legacy technology, like the survivors of a previous catastrophe handed down their knowledge to the Egyptians, the Greeks, and the Romans. We see the same strange patterns all over the world. Why are there pyramids in Egypt, Mexico, China, and Indonesia? Why do ancient legends from every single continent, from the Maya to the Sumerians, all tell the same story of a great flood and gods from the sky who brought them civilization? We like to think of ourselves as the pinnacle of human achievement. We have the internet, we have AI, we have smartphones, but our technology is fragile. If the power grid went down tomorrow, how much of our knowledge would survive for 1,000 years? Not our books, they'll rot. Not our hard drives, they'll demagnetize. Our concrete buildings will crumble in a century. If a great reset happened to us today, what would the people of the year 5000 find? Maybe they'd find a piece of stainless steel engine and wonder why primitive humans were obsessed with shiny metal. Maybe they'd find the ruins of a subway system and think it was a religious temple for a subway god. History is not a straight line. It's a circle. We rise, we reach a peak, we build wonders that defy logic, and then something happens. A volcano, a comet, a plague, or a war. We fall back into the dirt and we forget. We spend the next 1,000 years looking at the ruins of our ancestors, calling them primitive, while we struggle to understand how they moved the stones. The Antikythera mechanism, the Baghdad Battery, Derinkuyu, and Göbekli Tepe are not just mysteries, they're warnings. They're proof that we've been here before. We have been smart before, we have been modern before, and we lost it all. So the next time you look at a piece of ancient pottery in a museum, don't just see old stuff. See a survivor. See the remnants of a mind that might have understood the stars better than you do. Because the greatest mystery of history isn't how they built the pyramids or the computers. The greatest mystery is why we keep forgetting how to do it. What if the Dark Ages aren't a thing of the past? What if we're just in the middle of a very long light age that is about to flicker out? If you could leave one piece of technology behind for the humans of the future to find, something that wouldn't rot, something that would prove we were here, what would it be? Tell me in the comments. And if you want to see the terrifying proof of why 536 AD was the literal worst year to be alive, click this video right here. It's the story of when the sun actually went out. Thanks for watching. Keep looking at the past because it's the only way to see what's coming in the future. Stay curious, stay skeptical, and never trust the official timeline.